The morning was colder than usual. Snow covered every street, every roof, every car. The wind moved like a sharp knife in the air. People hurried to work with their heads down, trying not to freeze. Inside the tall glass building, the CEO, Mr. Bennett, prepared to step outside. He was a strict man, always walking fast, always focused, never stopping for anyone. His expensive shoes clicked loudly on the marble floor as he moved toward the exit. But today was different. At the main door, the security guard was arguing with someone small, someone shivering. A tiny figure stood in the snow wearing a thin jacket, shoes wet from the cold. The guard pushed him away again and again. Then the small voice came out, "Sir, please." Mr. Bennett's eyes narrowed. It was a little black boy, maybe 8 years old, shaking so hard his teeth almost clicked. Snowflakes stuck to his eyelashes. His lips were turning blue. His breath came out in little clouds of steam. The guard snapped, "Kid, you can't stand here. Move along." But the boy didn't move. Instead, he looked straight at Mr. Bennett, eyes full of fear, hope, and something darker. He took one step forward and whispered, "Sir, my mother didn't come home last night." Mr. Bennett froze. The cold air suddenly felt colder. He didn't understand. He didn't want to understand. He had a meeting, a schedule, a busy day. But the boy kept staring at him with those shaking, pleading eyes. Mr. Bennett frowned. "What does that have to do with me?" The boy swallowed hard. He opened his small fist and showed something. A cleaning ID card, the company's cleaning staff pass. His mother's name was written on it. The boy whispered again, his voice breaking, "My mama cleans your office. You saw her yesterday. She said she would come home early. But she never came. I waited all night." The snow fell harder. The city noises grew quieter. For a moment, everything around them slowed. Mr. Bennett felt something strange in his chest. Something he didn't like, guilt. He remembered her quiet, hard-working, always polite. She cleaned his office every evening. She never caused trouble. She never complained. And now she was missing? He tried to walk forward, but the boy suddenly grabbed the edge of his coat. His small fingers were freezing cold. "Sir, please. Something bad happened. I know it. My mama. She never leaves me alone at night. Never." His voice cracked. Tears mixed with snow on his cheeks. The guard sighed, annoyed, but Mr. Bennett lifted a hand to silence him, for the first time. He really looked at the boy. Thin, hungry, terrified, but brave enough to stand in front of a powerful man and beg for help. Mr. Bennett spoke quietly. "Did you call the police?" The boy shook his head. "They said maybe she ran away. But she didn't. She didn't." His small fists shook in anger and fear. "She loves me. She would never leave me." Something inside the CEO shifted. He thought of his own childhood. The nights he waited alone. The nights no one came for him. The memory hit him like the cold wind. The boy sniffed and said, "Please." "I checked everywhere. Home, corner shop, bus stop. But the snow covered her footprints. Sir, you were the last person she cleaned for. You saw her. You must know something." Mr. Bennett felt the weight of the moment. Maybe he didn't know anything. But maybe he was the only person who could help. He took a slow breath. "Where do you live?" he asked. The boy's eyes widened with fragile hope. He pointed down the snowy street. "Follow me. Please." And so for the first time in many years, the CEO, who never followed anyone, stepped into the snow behind a little boy who just wanted his mother back. The real story begins here. The boy walked fast. Even though his legs were small and the snow was deep, Mr. Bennett followed close behind, his expensive shoes sinking into the icy slush. The wind pushed against them, but the boy didn't slow down. His fear was stronger than the cold. After 10 long minutes, they reached a narrow, broken old building. Paint peeled from the walls. Windows rattled in the wind. It felt nothing like the warm, rich offices the CEO came from. The boy stopped at the door, breathing fast. This is where we live, he whispered. Inside, the hallway was dark and cold. A single yellow bulb flickered weakly from the ceiling. As they climbed the stairs, Mr. Bennett noticed the walls covered with old posters, scratches, and messages from people who no longer lived there. The boy opened the apartment door slowly. It wasn't locked. Mr. Bennett's eyes sharpened. Was it like this yesterday? The boy shook his head. Mama always locks the door, always. They stepped inside. The apartment was small, just one room, a little kitchen, 2 chairs, and a mattress in the corner. But everything looked neat, organized, cared for. The mother had tried her best. The heater was off. The room was freezing, but one thing stood out. The boy rushed toward a table near the mattress. He gasped loudly. Mr. Bennett stepped closer. There, still plugged into the charger, was a phone. His mother's phone. The screen had 4 missed calls from the boy. And next to it was her cleaning uniform folded neatly, exactly where she always left it. She never leaves without her phone, the boy whispered, trembling again. Never. Mr. Bennett looked around the room carefully. His brain switched into business mode, sharp, calculating. He noticed a chair slightly moved out of place, a cup broken near the sink, a tiny scratch near the doorframe, snow footprints just inside the doorway. Only one set. Someone came inside. Someone who wasn't her, and she didn't walk out on her own. The boy sat on the floor, hugging himself. She promised she'd be home early. She promised. His voice cracked again. Mr. Bennett knelt beside him. Listen, we will find her. But I need you to tell me everything you know. The boy nodded quickly. He began explaining. She finished work early. She called me and said she bought groceries. She was coming home. But she never came. I waited all night. I waited until the sun came up. But she didn't come. His voice trembled at every word. Mr. Bennett frowned. Groceries? Did she bring anything home? The boy shook his head. No. That meant she disappeared before she reached the building. Mr. Bennett stood up and walked to the door again. He bent down. His fingers touched something on the floor. A tiny piece of cloth, dark blue. The same color as her uniform. He looked at the boy. Did your mother ever talk about anyone bothering her? Someone following her? The boy hesitated, then nodded slowly. There was a man, he whispered. Sometimes he waited outside the building. Mama said to stay inside when he was around. She didn't like him. Mr. Bennett's jaw tensed. A stranger. Watching her. Waiting for her. The thought made the room feel even colder. Just then, a soft knock came from the hallway. Both of them froze. A neighbor, a tired woman with gray hair, peeked in. I heard voices. Are you looking for his mama? The boy jumped up. Do you know something? The woman sighed deeply. Last night, I heard a noise. A thud. Like someone falling. And then, feet dragging in the hallway. When I looked out my peephole, I saw a van, a dark one. It left fast. The boy gasped. Mr. Bennett felt a chill that had nothing to do with the snow. This wasn't a simple disappearance. Something dangerous had happened. He looked at the boy. We're not stopping here. We're going to follow every clue. The boy wiped his tears and nodded. Courage rising again, the CEO stood tall. Eyes sharp. Let's find your mother. And together, they stepped back into the snow-covered streets, 2 very different people. Bound by one mission, the street outside the apartment felt even colder now. The snow was heavier, the wind louder, and the sky darker. Like the world already knew something terrible had happened. Mr. Bennett and the little boy walked together. Their footsteps slow but full of purpose. The neighbor's words echoed in the CEO's mind. "I saw a van. A dark one." The boy whispered, "Mama never goes near vans. She's scared of them." That one sentence pushed Mr. Bennett forward. There was no time to waste. The snow keeps secrets. But not FOREVER. They reached the alley beside the building. Snow had covered most of the ground. But something caught the CEO's eye, something small and dark. "Wait," he said softly. The boy stopped instantly. Mr. Bennett bent down and brushed the snow aside with his glove. A shape slowly appeared. A deep, curved mark. A tire print. A big one. His heart tightened. "A van did come here." The boy's breath shook. "Is it the same one?" "Maybe," Mr. Bennett said. "But we need more proof." He followed the trail of crushed snow, moving step by step, scanning every inch. The boy followed close. His small hands balled into fists. Then Mr. Bennett froze again. Next to a large tire. Groove was something even more disturbing. At first it looked like a melted snow patch. But when he wiped the surface, the truth appeared. A small drop of blood. Deep red, fresh. The boy saw it and gasped. His knees almost gave out. "Mama! That's Mama's blood, isn't it?" His voice was tiny, almost lost in the wind. Mr. Bennett quickly caught him before he fell. "We don't know that yet. But it's a sign. And signs help us find people." The child pressed his forehead against the CEO's coat, crying silently. Snowflakes melted into the fabric. Mr. Bennett looked up at the long alley, then at the street beyond. The van had gone somewhere. But where? The first big CLU. He scanned the area again, his business mind working fast. He noticed something near a trash bin, a thin strip of blue cloth stuck under the wheel. He pulled it out. It was the same color as the uniform the mother wore. This wasn't a random crime. Someone came for her. Someone planned this. The boy wiped his tears and stared at the CEO with new determination. "We have to find her before it gets dark. She's scared of the dark." That single sentence hit Mr. Bennett hard. The mother worked day and night, cleaned offices, took care of her child alone. And now she was out there in the freezing cold, maybe hurt, maybe worse. He stood up straight. "We will follow the van's path." The boy held his hand tightly. "I'm ready." Following the TRAL, they walked to the end of the alley where the tire marks turned onto the main road. Snow had covered most of it, but there was still a faint path. Mr. Bennett followed the direction the tracks pointed. Soon they reached a busy street. Cars passed. Buses honked. People rushed through the snow. The van could have gone anywhere. Then a voice from behind surprised them. "Sir? Little one?" It was an old street cleaner pushing the cart. "You look like you're searching for something," the man said. Mr. Bennett stepped forward. "Did you see a dark van come through here last night?" The old man squinted. "A van? Yeah. I remember one. It almost hit my cart. Driver was in a hurry. Turned left toward the industrial road." The boy looked up wide-eyed. "Industrial road? That's where the old buildings are. Mama said it's dangerous." Mr. Bennett put a hand on the boy's shoulder. "Then that's exactly where we're going." The boy nodded, fear mixing with courage. "Let's go." A new fear arises. They stepped off the safe road and walked toward the cold, empty industrial area. The buildings grew older. The streets darker. The snow deeper. And somewhere in that silence, in those forgotten streets, was the truth they were looking for. Mr. Bennett looked at the boy and said quietly, "Whatever we find, you're not alone." The boy squeezed his hand. Together, they walked deeper into the white storm, following the trail that a desperate mother had left behind. The industrial road was silent, empty, and colder than the rest of the city. Old warehouses stood like dark giants, their broken windows staring down at the two figures walking through the snow, Mr. Bennett and the little boy who refused to give up. Every crunch of snow under their boots felt heavy. Every shadow looked dangerous. But the boy kept moving forward. His small hand gripped the CEO's coat tightly. "Sir, Mama wouldn't walk here," he whispered. "She always avoided this street. That means she didn't come here by choice." Mr. Bennett replied softly. They kept walking until the old buildings gave way to a small area of rundown shops and a community shelter, its sign crooked. Lights dim, but still open. The boy tugged at the CEO's sleeve. "Mama came here once, to get warm when the heater at home broke. That was enough reason to check." They stepped inside. Warm air touched their cold faces for the first time in hours. People sat wrapped in blankets, volunteers served soup, and the smell of cheap coffee filled the room. A woman with tired eyes, around 50, looked up from behind a counter. She noticed the snow on their clothes and the fear on the boy's face. "Looking for someone?" she asked gently. The boy nodded quickly. "My mama. She didn't come home last night." The woman's expression changed, like she recognized the pain. "Your mama? Is she the cleaning lady? Kind woman? Always quiet?" The boy's eyes widened with hope. "Yes, that's her. Did you see her?" The woman sighed deeply and motioned for them to sit. "I didn't want to believe something bad happened, but I saw her last night." The boy's breath caught. "Where? How did she look? Was she okay?" The woman lowered her voice. "She came running into the shelter around 9 p.m. She looked scared. Really scared. Like someone was chasing her." Mr. Bennett leaned forward. "Did she say anything?" "She only said one sentence." The woman swallowed hard. "He found me." The boy covered his mouth, shocked. Mr. Bennett's eyes narrowed. "Who is he?" The woman shook her head. "She didn't say. She just kept checking the door. She sat in that corner, shaking, crying, and repeating the same thing." The boy whispered, "Mama never cries in front of people." "Exactly," the woman said. Something terrified her. Mr. Bennett felt a cold heaviness in his chest. This wasn't random. Someone had been hunting her. "Then what happened?" he asked. The woman continued, "I tried to talk to her. I offered her tea, a blanket. But she refused to stay. She said she had to go home before he did. She left the shelter at 9:20 p.m. And then?" The CEO pushed. The woman hesitated. Her voice dropped to a whisper as she stepped outside. A dark van stopped at the curb. She froze. Then a man came out. I couldn't see his face, but he grabbed her arm. It looked like she tried to pull away, but the snow was slippery. The boy's hands trembled. "Did you call the police?" Mr. Bennett asked. "Yes," she said. But by the time they came, the van was gone. The boy stood suddenly, tears in his eyes. "Why didn't you stop them? You let them take her." The woman's own eyes filled with tears. "Baby, I tried. I screamed. I ran outside. But the man pushed me to the ground." Mr. Bennett quickly placed his arm around the boy, stopping him from breaking apart. "Enough," he said gently. "She told us more than anyone else." The woman wiped her face. "There's one more thing." Both of them looked up. She dropped something when the man grabbed her. "I kept it, thinking she might come back." The woman reached into a drawer and pulled out a small silver chain and necklace. The boy gasped loudly. "Mama's necklace. She never takes it off. Never." Mr. Bennett took the necklace carefully. It was warm from the woman's hands but felt painfully cold inside his own. This wasn't just a kidnapping. This was personal. The woman whispered. She was running from someone. Someone she knew. Mr. Bennett stood, determination hardening his face. "We're going after him." The boy grabbed the necklace tightly and nodded. They stepped back into the snow, this time not just searching, but hunting. The shelter door closed behind them, and the snow swallowed every sound again. But this time, their footsteps were faster, louder, driven by fear and determination. The boy held his mother's necklace tightly in his small fist. As if it could guide him, Mr. Bennett walked beside him, face set like stone. They followed the direction the woman from the shelter had mentioned, the old industrial zone. The buildings here were taller, darker, abandoned. Rusted metal creaked in the wind. Broken windows watched them like empty eyes. The boy shivered. "Sir, Mama wouldn't come here. Not even during the day." "That's exactly why he brought her here," Mr. Bennett said. They reached a long stretch of warehouses, each one older than the next. No footprints. No lights. Only silence. But then, a faint sound. The boy stopped. "Sir, did you hear that?" Mr. Bennett raised his hand for silence. There it was again. A soft cry. Weak. Fading. The CEO's eyes widened. "Someone's inside." He followed the sound to Warehouse 19. A massive structure with half its roof collapsed and a metal door slightly open. The boy clutched his coat. "Is Mama in there?" "We'll find out," Bennett said. They pushed the door slowly. It groaned loudly, echoing through the huge cold space. Inside, the air smelled of dust, oil, and something else, fear. The warehouse was dark except for a single flickering bulb near the center dot, and beneath that bulb, a figure was tied to a pole, weak, shaking. The boy gasped. "Mama!" He ran forward, but Mr. Bennett caught him before he could reach her. "Wait, it might be dangerous." The boy cried silently as he watched his mother struggle to look up. Her face was bruised, her lip cut, her hands bound tightly. She whispered, "Baby, is that you?" The boy tried to run again, but footsteps echoed from the shadows. A man stepped out. Tall, heavy, wearing a dark jacket. His face rough, eyes sharp like a knife. "Oh look," the man said with a smirk. The kid came with backup. Mr. Bennett stepped in front of the boy. "Let her go." The man laughed. "Why would I do that? She owes me." She ran away. She thought she could disappear and take my money with her. The boy shouted, "My mama doesn't steal." The man glared. "Quiet, kid." Mr. Bennett's voice was calm but deadly. "If you touch him, you'll regret it." The criminal tilted his head. "And who are you?" "I'm the man who's going to stop you." The warehouse fell silent. Then the man rushed forward. Mr. Bennett grabbed a metal pipe lying on the ground and swung it. The clash echoed through the building. The boys screamed as the two men struggled, slipping on the cold floor, crashing into crates. The attacker punched wildly, but Mr. Bennett blocked the hits, pushing him back. Years of business meetings had made him tough, but this was different. This was survival. He fought with something he hadn't used in years: anger, purpose, and heart. The man stumbled, and Mr. Bennett slammed the pipe against the ground near his face. "Last chance," he growled. "Let her go." The attacker wiped blood from his lip and laughed. "You think I care about threats? She's mine. She always has been." The boy's mother cried, "No. Please, leave him alone. Don't hurt my baby." The attacker turned toward her, and that was his mistake. Mr. Bennett surged forward, tackled him to the ground, and pinned his arm behind his back. The man howled in pain. You'll regret this." "No," Bennett said through clenched teeth. "You will." He tied the man with torn ropes lying nearby. The boy finally ran to his mother, hugging her tightly, sobbing against her clothes. She held him with trembling hands, tears falling into his hair. "I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry." Mr. Bennett approached softly. "We need to get you out of here." The mother looked at him with shocked eyes. Why would a man like you help us?" He looked at the boy. "Because he came to me. Because he believed I could. And for the first time, she smiled weakly. But outside the warehouse, they heard another sound, sirens? Or something else. This rescue was not finished, not yet. The warehouse door rattled as the wind pushed against it. The storm outside had grown stronger, snow falling so thick it looked like a white curtain. Inside, the boy held onto his mother tightly, refusing to let go even for a second. Her breath was weak, her arms shaking, but she kept whispering, "I'm here. Mama's here." Mr. Bennett checked the ropes tying the attacker, making sure the knot wouldn't loosen. The man lay on the ground groaning, glaring at them with hateful eyes. But then, a distant sound echoed through the warehouse. Not sirens, footsteps, heavy ones. More than one pair. Mr. Bennett's face hardened. "There's someone else here," he whispered. The boy's mother gasped. He wasn't alone. The boy clung to her. "Mama, we have to leave, please." Mr. Bennett grabbed the metal bar, eyes scanning the dark corners of the warehouse. The footsteps grew louder. Shadows moved. A second man appeared at the far end. Tall and broad-shouldered, wearing a black coat dusted with snow. His eyes locked onto Mr. Bennett with cold interest. "So," he said, voice deep and slow, "you're the one making trouble." Mr. Bennett didn't flinch. "Step away. We're leaving." The man smirked. "You're brave, but stupid." His eyes flicked to the tied attacker. "You tied up my partner. That's rude." The boy's mother trembled. "Please, let us go." But the man shook his head. "She ran from us with money she owed. You don't just walk away from debt. She never owed you anything." The boy shouted with surprising courage. The man took one threatening step forward. Mr. Bennett stepped between them instantly. "You want to fight? Fine, but if you touch that boy..." The man raised his hands mockingly. "Relax, rich man. I'm not here to fight. I'm here to collect." He pulled something from his coat pocket, a silver switchblade. The boy gasped. His mother's hands flew to her mouth. The man waved the blade lazily. "Give me the woman. Then you can walk away." Mr. Bennett tightened his grip on the metal bar. "That's not happening." For a moment, both men stood frozen, two lives facing each other. Danger thick in the air, wind screamed through the broken windows. Trembling bulb flickered overhead. Snow fell through holes in the roof. Then everything happened at once. The man lunged. Mr. Bennett blocked with the bar. The sound of metal hitting metal rang through the warehouse. The boy screamed. His mother cried, "No." Mr. Bennett swung again, forcing the man back. The criminal slashed the blade wildly, missing the CEO by inches. They circled each other, the floor slippery with melting snow. Finally, the man rushed forward with a roar but slipped on the wet concrete. Mr. Bennett seized the chance and kicked the switchblade across the floor. The blade skidded away, hitting a crate. The criminal staggered to his feet, furious but unarmed. Mr. Bennett raised the metal bar. "Stay down." The man looked into his eyes and hesitated. For the first time, he realized the CEO wasn't just wealthy. He was dangerous when protecting someone. The man muttered a curse and backed away slowly into the shadows. Then he ran. Mr. Bennett didn't chase him. He ran straight to the mother and boy. "Instead, we need to leave," he said urgently. "Now." He lifted the mother gently. She winced, but nodded. The boy held her hand, refusing to let go. Outside, the storm had grown into a white wall. Snow blasted their faces as they stepped out. The wind pushed against them like a giant hand. Mr. Bennett shielded them with his coat. "Stay close. Don't let go." They moved through the storm slowly, each step painful, each breath cold as ice. The mother coughed weakly. "I'm slowing you down." "No," the CEO said firmly. "You're going home." She looked at him with tear-filled eyes. You saved us. Why? Why would you help a woman like me? Mr. Bennett kept walking, face hard but voice soft. Because once, I was a child standing in the snow, and no one came for me. The boy squeezed his mother's hand and looked at Mr. Bennett with a new kind of respect, a quiet hero standing beside them. They pushed through the storm together, heading toward the faint glow of the city lights. The danger wasn't over, but for the first time, hope felt real. The storm pushed them harder the closer they walked toward the city. Snow hit their faces like tiny stones, the wind howling like a warning. But Mr. Bennett didn't slow down. He carried the boy's mother in his arms as if she weighed nothing. Her head resting weakly against his shoulder, the boy walked beside them, one hand gripping her sleeve, the other holding tightly to Bennett's coat. "Sir, is Mama going to be okay?" he asked, his voice small but brave. "Yes," Bennett said without hesitation. "I won't let anything happen to her." And he meant every word. After what felt like hours fighting through the storm, they finally reached a road where cars were still moving. Mr. Bennett flagged down a passing taxi, his voice firm and urgent. "Hospital, now." The driver saw the injured woman and nodded quickly. Inside the warm taxi, the mother closed her eyes. The boy held onto her arm, whispering softly, "Mama, stay awake. Please, we're almost there." She opened her eyes just enough to smile. "I'm here, baby. Mama's right here." The hospital the hospital doors burst open as Mr. Bennett carried her inside. Nurses rushed forward, taking her from his arms, placing her on a stretcher. "Sir, what happened?" one nurse asked. "She was kidnapped," Bennett said sharply. "She needs help immediately." The boy ran beside the stretcher until a nurse gently held him back. "You have to wait here, sweetheart." His small body shook with fear. "Don't take her away, please." Mr. Bennett knelt beside him and put a hand on his shoulder. "She's safe now. They're helping her. I promise." The boy nodded, tears falling quietly. They waited. Minutes felt like hours. The storm outside finally began to calm, but the storm inside the boy's heart was still raging. After a long time, a doctor came out. "She's stable," he said softly. "Weak, dehydrated, and hurt, but she's going to recover." The boy broke down with relief, covering his face with his hands. Mr. Bennett exhaled slowly, feeling tension drain from his shoulders. "Can we see her?" Bennett asked. The doctor nodded. "Only for a short time." The truth in her is, the mother lay on the hospital bed, bruised but alive. When she saw her son, her tears fell freely. "Baby, you found me," she whispered. The boy hugged her carefully, scared to hurt her. "I was so scared, Mama. I thought. She kissed the top of his head. "I'm safe now." Mr. Bennett stood by the door quietly. He didn't want to intrude. But the mother looked at him with deep gratitude. "Sir, I don't know how to thank you," she whispered. "You don't have to," he said softly. "Your son did everything. He came to me. He didn't give up." She closed her eyes, pain mixed with relief. "I left the man years ago. He was dangerous. I ran so my son could have a peaceful life. But he found us again." Mr. Bennett stepped closer. "He won't hurt you anymore. The police have your statement, and I'll make sure the rest is handled." The mother stared at him, surprised, emotional. "Why would a man like you help someone like me?" He looked at the boy, then at her. "Because no child should stand in the snow alone, waiting for someone who never comes. I live that. I won't let him live that." Her eyes softened. The boy looked up at him with something new, trust. The new BJ. The doctor told them the mother needed a few days of rest. Mr. Bennett made arrangements quietly. He paid the hospital bill. He arranged better security for her. He contacted the police personally. He even arranged temporary housing in a safer building. When the mother found out, she shook her head. "Sir, this is too much. We can't repay you." Mr. Bennet placed a hand over the boy's shoulder and spoke gently. "It's not payment. It's a promise. You're not alone anymore." The boy stepped forward and hugged him, small arms wrapping around the CEO's waist. "Sir, you're like family now," he whispered. For a moment, Mr. Bennet stood frozen. Then slowly, he placed a hand on the child's back. Outside, the storm had finally stopped. The city glowed with soft morning light. A new day had begun. A new life, safe, hopeful, and full of promise, had also begun for the little boy and his mother. And for the first time in many years, Mr. Bennet felt something warm in his heart. He had saved someone. He had become someone's hero.